Okay guys, welcome. It is late today. It's 1 a.m. and this is the earliest I could get out to make a video for you guys. We're gonna do the last part of our unit with Pythagorean theorem, which means that next week we're gonna be starting a new unit. And this lesson is going to be more of an extension piece for you guys going into next year. I still think it is really important. Hopefully you checked out the Show What You Know answers that I just posted ahead of this lesson. Again, if you are interested in finding out how you did on the Show What You Know, please feel free to contact me. I'm happy to let you know. Again, I'm looking more so to see, it's so hard, and I really do understand it. Math is one of those things where it's like, it's hard to do these things where we're not face to face and we can really explain it. But hopefully, I know a lot of you, or some of you, have taken me up on the Google Meet, video conferencing to talk about math and do some extra help there. Please feel free to really take up that opportunity. When I'm online, that's what I'm there for. And if I'm not online and you and it's during a time where I'm not online, I can see if I can move around some stuff and get onto the computer and help you out. But I really do appreciate everybody. I know that this isn't the best scenarios to be in, but I really do appreciate everybody being there and working your butts off and really trying hard to make sure that you're doing the work, because I think it is going to benefit you in the long run. Like the stuff that we're learning right now is going to be important for you next year. So without further ado, let's talk about today's lesson. We've been talking about Pythagorean theorem in the form of a 2D shape, right? If the triangle, if we know that this leg is 8, we know that this leg is 10, and we don't know what the hypotenuse is, we can just plug in a simple formula to figure it out. But what if we are faced with a 3D object, okay? And the best way of explaining that is, I'm just trying to find a small box in the room. Let me see what I've got here. Perfect. Okay. So let's say that I've got this box here, okay? Right, 3D object. And I want to find out what the length is from the top of this part, okay? So the top of this part to the bottom of that corner. So I'm going from the top of the front, and I'm drawing a diagonal line down to the corner. So the best way, I'll try to draw it out in 3D. So if I've got my square here, right, and I make it 3D, I'm looking to find out from, let's say, the bottom here up to the top corner at the top of the 3D shape. So I'm still looking for a Pythagorean theorem. I want to see if I can find another box that more clearly shows it. Unfortunately, Mrs. Berger's kind of taking all the boxes. So again, it's hard on the computer it's hard on the video to show, but what I'm trying to do is imagine a shoebox, and you want to you want to take it from that bottom part, and you want to find out what the hypotenuse is to the top part on the other side. So that's what we're going to be dealing with today. So when we deal with a 2D shape, we have two variables, right? Leg A and leg B. But when we're dealing with a 3D shape, we're dealing with three variables. So we're going to change it up a little bit. It's the same as a squared plus b squared, equals c squared, but we're adding a third variable. So what we've got here now is we've got a couple of different things that we're going to be working with. The first thing that we're going to be working with is this bottom line, which we're going to call our length, okay? So this is our length. I don't know why I did the first letter in A. So we're going to call this length, and we're going to know that by L, okay? From here to here, we're going to call this our width, and we're going to call this W. And from here to here, we're going to call this is our height, and we're going to call this h. So when we're dealing with this, we're still trying to find the hypotenuse, which is the c squared, right? We're trying to find that out, but now we're dealing with three different things. So we're still using the same kind of formula, but now we're just changing it up. You could, and I taught this last year, if you wanted to call length A, width B, and you wanted to just keep height as h, you could totally do that. I'm totally fine with that. So what is the new formula going to look like? Well, if we stick with the length, width, height, it will be L squared plus W squared plus H squared equals C squared. Okay, so C squared is still representing our hypotenuse, but it's saying that the hypotenuse is from the front of the 3D shape, the bottom front of the 3D shape, to the back top of the 3D shape. So we're actually going through we're taking it out of the second dimension. But if you wanted to, like I said, be familiar with it and only add one new variable, you could do a squared plus b squared plus h squared equals c squared. Both of these would be acceptable as long as you're making sure that you're maintaining which one is which. So if you're saying length is going to always be A, that's fine. Width is going to always be B, just not to confuse yourself. But I always recommend that h squared is your height, okay? So let's do one together so we can kind of take this through and see what we're going to do. I'm going to work through the math with you guys because unfortunately I didn't get a lot of planning time in the sense of getting to write these out earlier like I usually do. But let's say that we've got, I'm just going to draw another square. So we've got this box. Again, they're all going to kind of look the same, unfortunately. And I want to find out, again, what is the hypotenuse from the front, from over here, all the way up to the back over here. So I want to find out a 3D hypotenuse. So we're given the following. This length is 4 inches, this width is 3 inches, and the height of it is 7 inches. Okay, so we're literally gonna plug it in. For our sake, I'm gonna do A, B, and H on this one, just so we can kind of keep it in familiarity. So 4 squared, so I'm gonna write it out first, A squared plus B squared plus H squared equals C squared. This H squared just means, now I'm taking it into the third dimension. Think about that. 2-dimensional shapes have 2 variables. 3-dimensional shapes have 3 variables. So 4 squared plus 3 squared, right? My width plus height is 7 squared equals C squared. Now, when we get to this point, it's the exact same thing as what we were doing earlier with the Pythagorean theorem. So we're gonna, 4 squared is 16 plus 9 plus 49 equals C squared. 16 plus 9 is 25. 25 plus 49 is 69. 69 plus 5 is 74. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna, again, super late. I apologize. Yeah. Oh no, 73. My bad. So we get to this point and we say, okay, what is the, no, it's 74. 49 plus 16. 49 plus 16 plus 8. No, plus 9 is 74. That's right. Good. All right. So, sorry, guys. What we're going to do now is we're going to do the exact same thing. We're turning this into the square root. C equals the square root of 74, which is 8.60. So let's just say 8.6 inches. So from the front bottom all the way up to the top of the back of the 3D shape, that hypotenuse is 8.6 inches. Okay, let's try another one together and then I'm going to get you guys to do a knowledge one yourself. Okay, let's get rid of this. Oh, bold math. Jeez, sorry. Oh, look at that. I wish I had Allison Martin here to help me out. with this erasing situation. All right, let me just take off this layer of my marker. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Oh, I hear a baby crying. I hopefully won't have to leave too quickly. All right, let's do another one. Let's say that we've got a beautiful, oh, this one goes the opposite way. Let's draw the opposite way. So we've got this, Oh man, it's so much harder going the opposite way. I don't know why. So let's put in our numbers. We got 13 inches of length, we've got 6 inches of width, and we've got 13 inches of height. And we're going to find, again, we're going to go from the top here, and we're trying to find from the top back to the front bottom, what is the amount? What is that hypotenuse? So let's solve this as best as we can. So let's write it out. A squared plus B squared plus H squared equals C squared. A squared we're going to call 13 plus B squared is 6 plus height is 13 equals C squared. 13 squared is, I'm pretty sure, 169. But I'm just going to verify it with us all. Yep. So we've got 169 plus 36 plus 169 equals C squared. We're plus 36. So we've got the answer to that is 374 equals C squared. Now we're going to have to square root that. So the square root of 374 is 19.3. So C equals 19.3. So that hypotenuse again is 19.3. Let's do one where you guys are actually going to take the knowledge question and see how you guys can do with it. So let's do that. Let's draw whatever, you guys. Let's change it up a little bit. Let's make this more of a rectangular prism. Oh, I may have to go for a couple seconds, guys, before the next section to go calm a baby down, because don't want them waking up. So let's put 15 here, 24 here, and 8 here. So I'd like you to pause right now, and I'd like you to solve this on your own and see what you can do. Okay, go. Oh, sorry, we're gonna, told you, didn't even tell you what to do. You're gonna solve from back here, right? You're figuring out what that hypotenuse is from the bottom front to the top back of the 3D shape. Okay, pause and go figure it out. Okay, so you're back. So let's take a look at this. It's a little bit trickier because I put certain things on different sides. So let's quickly label it. We know that this is the length. We know that this number is the width, and we know that this number is the height. So hopefully you didn't get tricked by this and this being on different sides. So we're gonna write it out. So A squared plus B squared plus H squared equals C squared. We know that A squared is my length, so I'm gonna do 24 squared plus 8 squared plus 15 squared. Okay. 24 squared, I'm gonna have to use the calculator on this one, guys. Sorry, 24 times 24 times 24 is 576 plus 64 plus 225. Now this is gonna take me a second to add up. 576 plus 64 plus 225 is 865. What do? We square root it. At this point, hopefully you're seeing that literally the exact same formulas and the same idea of what you're trying to do here is happening. So C equals 29.4. Okay, I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to check on the baby, but we'll be back and we'll do a little bit of an application section. Okay, thanks.